Well, hey everybody, Andy here. Thanks for joining me today. And today we are at Philmont. And if you're new to the channel, this channel is all about backpacking, outdoor adventures, gear, most definitely gear, and a few tips and tricks along the way. So if any of those things interest you, consider subscribing and you'll be updated every time I post new content. And there is a lot of new content coming. So sit back and relax and let's dive in to our 2019 Philmont experience. Well, morning everybody. It's morning of our first day on trail. We had a beautiful morning. The sun's coming up over the ridge behind us. It was a little warm last night, so I had to kind of sleep with the sleeping bag on top of me. It was so warm. And then waking up this morning, didn't need a fleece, didn't need a jacket, just t-shirt or whatever. It was very comfortable out, so it's definitely fairly warm. We got up a little early, about 5 o'clock, just to get up and get packed up. So the boys and everybody are behind me, packing up, loading up stuff, and we're about done. We're gonna have breakfast here. It's about 6:30, so we took our time, had some coffee already. The adults did, and looking forward to our second day on trail. We've got about 2.5 miles today, a pretty sizable incline and decline, and then we'll hit the next campsite and the rappelling rock climbing course. So I know everybody's kind of looking forward to that, so I'll check back in later. Well, good morning, everybody. It's morning of day 2 on the trail. Our second full morning on the trail, so this will start our third day. It was a little cooler last night. We think it was in probably the upper 40s. And it was very moist out here. Very, not humid, but we got a rain last night, and as you can see the ground behind me, you can see kind of the tent spots. Are completely dry, but everything else, even this morning, and it stopped raining probably about 6 p.m. last night, so it's a little unusual that things haven't dried out today. Tents were wet when we were packing them up. My backup socks that I pulled out today to put on are, I laid them out for a couple hours as I was packing everything, well, for an hour as I was packing everything up, and they're damp just absorbing the moisture in the air. So it's a little unusual. It's a beautiful day though. Not many clouds in the sky. We are making some coffee and getting breakfast ready. This morning we're going to finish up some rappelling, and we had a couple guys that it got canceled because of the rain that was coming in. So we're going to get them done this morning at 7:45 and then head on the trail. We've got about 7 miles today. A decent climb at the beginning, and then a secondary climb later in the day, and then downhill into the canyon. So we're heading from Chase Cow up to Cottonwood. So should be fun to see that section of the trail. So I'm sure I'll have some more video and some updates and pictures along the trail. So we'll check back later.
Nice! We're almost there! Nice job!
Jump on 3. 1, 2, 3.
So we're taking our first 20-minute break. We made the big climb out of Chase Cow. So now we're going to do find the connector trail up over this next ridge, and we've got a little bit more of a climb to go, but I think we're about 2 miles in or so, a little over that. We're supposed to have about 7 today. It's absolutely beautiful out here. As you can see behind me, the vistas are just stunning, and the mornings tend to be pretty nice and cool. So there's other groups coming in behind us, and there's another crew that's out in front of us. So we're just taking a little break. I will let this crew pass, and I will check back in a few minutes.
Dearest mother, I require a change of undergarments. The undergarments I have soiled are no longer usable. Well, hey everybody, we're taking our lunch break now. It is, we stopped about 12:30 or so for lunch. It's almost 1 o'clock now, so we're just wrapping up. The storms are starting to build in the afternoon like they typically do here this time of year. You know, kind of started, it's at the big mountain peaks, you'd see the clouds forming there. and then it just kind of spreads across the entire sky. So we're about 7 miles in, and we know we're about probably under a mile to our final camp. So we thought it was a little over 7. It looks like it's going to be maybe a little under 8 with all the switchbacks and everything. It's hard to measure your exact distance. So, but we're trying to get there so that we'll have plenty of time to get the bear bags up, do all the things that we need to do, get the tents up before the possibility of rain. Usually, 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, there's a pretty good chance if you're going to get some rain, it's going to be during that period of time, and then it tends to stop. At least that's been the situation the last few days at base camp, and then both nights out here in the backcountry. So it's absolutely beautiful. If you look back through the distance, I think through the trees there, you can see Tooth of Time way back over there. So it may not come in great, but it's back there in between the trees. So just amazing views. It's warm. This time of year, for us, it's been between 75 and 85 probably every day so far. And the first night was pretty warm. It was only about 60 degrees at the coldest point in the morning. So a lot of the night it was probably 70 plus degrees in the tent, and it was just warm. Some of the boys were talking about just sweating. They were so hot. Last night was cooler. It touched into the upper 40s. So it had a nice, chill to the air, and it was very comfortable. But you could, I had a thermal top on and just boxers, and that was plenty comfortable in my 20-degree quilt, and even have to take the quilt off from time to time just because it's still pretty warm. But we'll be going up in elevation here the second half of the trip. We've only been, 65 to 7,500 feet in elevation pretty much so far, with base camp and then the 2 backcountry camps. And then a lot of the camps that we go on from here will be 8,000, 9,000, and one at 10,000 feet. So we do expect, a 5+ degree drop in temperature for every 1,000 feet of elevation. So, if it was 49 degrees, say last night, the possibility of it getting down to 35 degrees is absolutely possible when we're at 10,000 feet. So we'll see what it's like later on in the trek. So that's all for now. I'll check back later. All right, so we are at Cottonwood, which is one of the trail camps here in the northern section of Philmont. And let me give you a little tour. So in this section of camp, we've got the adults, 4 advisors. Right now, today was laundry day, so we did laundry, and they're all hanging out to dry. So this is kind of the advisor corner. And then over here, we've got the boys, kind of tucked over here, and one a little bit over there on the side, the other flat spot. So, and then we've got our latrine off in the distance. And then over here we've got kind of the main area of camp. We've got a tarp up just for some rain cover. We're sitting around some of the logs that are here. They're singing at the moment. We've got the fire ring over here, so we're doing some, I think it's like bean burritos kind of meal for tonight. And then you might be able to see it back behind in the trees is our bear bags that are hanging kind of through there. You might be able to pick that out kind of through there. So this is site number 5. So there's a bunch that are through here. So it's a nice little spot. The trail kind of runs along down through there. You can kind of see it. And there's one other troop way off in the distance. You might be able to see it kind of back in here. They are following the same path we are. So every night they'll camp roughly in the same area, go to the same program and whatnot. So they're our sister crew for this week. So that's our campsite for tonight. This is night number 3. So excited. We've got a big day tomorrow. So we're going to have a nice big meal and probably let the laundry dry, put that away, and then hit the tents because we've got a lot to do tomorrow. So, more later. Just to give you a view, here's the bear bag that was behind our camp. So we've got it strung up right now. We've got an oops bag that'll go up later tonight. There's a lot fewer bags now because we had 4 days worth of food. So we've got just another day or two before we get resupplied. So that's our setup here at camp. Have a lot of fun. I mean, look at those views. You've got we're here in the canyon, so we're kind of surrounded on both sides. There's a really rock outcropping over there.
To you. Happy birthday, dear William. Happy birthday,
Ivan.
to you.
So we don't have a birthday cake,
But raspberry cobbler,
we have raspberry crumble,
that's really
all
good.
for you. And you should not have to eat dinner on your birthday before having dessert.
Okay, thank you very
Oh,
much.
I was like, that
Yay!
dinner on his birthday. That's gonna be coming out a little later. What was that? It's like,
How is it?
There's a bunch of dry cake and I inhaled it. All right.
nice.
It's like really crumbly, but it's very good. I really like it. Thank you.
Will Speck, you're trying to get voted out by your father. How do you feel? I'm
Oh,
the
wait,
coach.
what?
He's doing this. That means you're defensive.
I think you picking him so resolutely right now makes you very suspicious.
Yes, we were just rapping out to Staying Alive from
Yeah,
the
and also your
episode.
I did do that.
I'm not completely
I already checked. We only have minutes to harvest. Only a mafia.
Good morning, everybody. It is morning of day 4, I believe, on trail. They all kind of bleed together after a little while, so we stayed last night in Cottonwood trail camp here in the canyon, which was pretty awesome. We had a fire last night, had a nice dinner, played some games around the fire. Everybody was in pretty good spirits. So, and then today we leave from Cottonwood down to Metcalf Station to do some railroading, and then we're off to Danbeard for tonight's camp. So looking forward to getting to another staff camp and having a great day of hiking. The estimate today was somewhere around 8 miles, which what we've been finding is with the GPS, it's actually about a mile or so more than what the estimates are. So we're expecting somewhere 9, somewhere in that range today. So about 4 to the station for the railroading, and then about 5 we think to Danbeard after that. So today we got up, got packed up pretty quick. It's 6:50, so that's been our quickest one. A lot more urgency today, but you know, you have to balance. It was a little snippy at times, people wanting to get up and get going fast, and sometimes you have to balance that with you know, keeping people in good spirits. So we'll work through that, I'm sure, as all crews do, I guess, on these. So we're going to stop here at the water source, which...
You got a close up of that water in the tank.
Yep, this is our lovely water source for the morning. I don't know if that's some kind of filter that it's running through or what. A little solar powered, and if that's a well or what. Or if they just come and dump water in, but a little spigot on the side. It's good B-roll.
Of the beetle that likes to pick up.
This is us walking through the lower section of Cottonwood Canyon, I believe, just south of Cottonwood Trail. Well, hey everybody, we're now at Metcalf Station, which is kind of the railroading camp here. So we've got everything from little cars. The gentlemen are down there right now building a section of track. So I'm going to walk down there and check some of that out. This is our activity for the day, and it's a staffed camp. So they've got water here. I was able to get a little first aid for my shin that was all scraped up from the rock climbing 2 days ago. So it was nice to get that all cleaned out and bandaged up again. They've got a much more robust first aid kit than what we typically carry, so it's always nice to stop in if you have something and let them take care of it. So they're going to be doing a little bit of work building a section of track, and then they're going to get a chance to ride the rail cars, so the little pump cars that you see in like cartoons and whatnot. So that should be fun to check out. So let's go down and take a look. So the boys were able to add 2 more ties down, dig them out, level them, so they can continue to build on this stretch of rail. And as their reward, they're going to get to ride the little pump car now. So that's pretty cool. Let's go check that out.
Home runs on that run.
It's kind of hard to see. We're going up Cook Canyon now, so back on the road again. And looks like we're taking a little break here, but heading up from Metcalf now to Danbeard. Hello, dear. Well, hey everybody, I thought I'd check back in. We are at Danbeard Camp. It's a staff camp here in the north part of Philmont. It's actually right on the edge of the Philmont border. So technically standing in outside the boundary of Philmont. We're in, how do you say it, Joey?
We're in the Valle.
The Valle, yes, the national forest, I guess, that's just north of Philmont. So, as you can see behind us, it's just a big kind of open meadow-ish kind of thing. So us and a couple other scout groups are here. We've got, kind of our cooking area set up. And if you look way back over there, we've got just amazing cloud formations and the sun.
Looks like a Bob Ross painting.
Yeah, it looks pretty amazing. So Joe's been a trooper all week. So far, we're on finishing day 4. Today was a pretty brutal hike. We did, I think it was about 8.5 miles, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
And it was good bit of vertical gain. So we went from what was it, Cottonwood to Metcalf Station for some railroading. We'll have some video in there you might have already seen, and then made it all the way up here to Danbeard, and got camp set up. And we're waiting. One thing that's really nice about this is so there's not really any, like, as you look around, sorry if I'm making you dizzy, no huge mountains. There's a couple of these little peaks next to us. So our view of the sky is just, it's panoramic.
Just show them, just
So,
straight up.
well, yeah,
It's
there's
like nothing. Just
there's
small
like
clouds
last
in the
night we
distance.
were in a canyon, and tonight we're in this huge open valley that's just a huge view of the sky. So it's pretty clear most nights here so far. It's been kind of stormy or cloudy into the evening, so we haven't seen many stars. Last night they came out about midnight, and just amazing. We were in the tent and had the doors open, and so you could see the skyline, and it was just, I mean, a billion stars is pretty amazing. Joe wants me to show you something. Joe, what do you want to show?
Well, what I want to show is that the crew set up bear bags differently.
Okay.
We actually had to use rope. And we had to we'd used rope previously, but we actually had to make the bear bag wire ourselves. Like, all we had was rope, trees, bear bag, and a carabiner. And we...
Now, why do you have to do it a different way?
What do you mean by that?
So, talk about the differences between what you get in a scout camp in Philmont territory
Oh, scout
and
camp.
outside of territory.
Okay, I get what you're saying. In a scout camp, they have like a metal...
Bear line?
Yeah, it's kind of like metal cable. It's a metal cable that goes from two trees. There's just a straight line. You throw a rope over it and then just tie the bear bags and pull it up. Pretty easy for that. And then tie the other end around a tree. And then that's easy. This one you have to like make the bear line, so it's just an extra. You have to make the cable. So it's just an extra step you have to do. It's not really hard. It's not really fun. So that was pretty much
Yep.
what we did today on that end.
And we've done that every night, and we've seen more mini bears. Haven't seen any bears. Saw a deer today. But, yep, I guess the most exciting thing is getting ready for bed. We're all kind of wore out, and see the show tonight. Hopefully the sky stays clear and we can see some amazing stars tonight. So that's all I got for now. We'll check back in later.